We have Channel 7 reporter Bianca Stone ready for you. She's out the front of Buckingham Palace right now.
Thanks very much. Bianca, so what time do you have there now in the UK?
It is 12 past 10 in the evening tonight.
Right.
So, yes, so for us, the funeral is tomorrow. For you, the funeral is tonight. So 11 o'clock local time, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But regardless, the countdown is, it's certainly on to the final goodbye.
Yeah, of course. So they've just closed the queue there now. Did everybody manage to get through?
Oh, there are a lot of disappointed people. The queue to see the Queen lying in state has just been phenomenal. It's been a story within itself. They opened the queue. There were people there that lined up for 48 hours to be the first in line, and they just continued all weekend. So it's been open for 4 days, and it has just been incredible. We've seen David Beckham in the queue.
Saw that, yeah.
All sorts of people. Yeah, lining up to see the Queen's coffin. Really moving experience for those people who did make it through. And, of course, over the weekend we saw the Queen's children hold vigil around the coffin, and then we saw the Queen's grandchildren do the same thing, all 8 grandchildren. That, for me, was so far the most moving thing that I've seen. You know, the looks on their faces, the pain etched in their faces, as they bowed their heads and lowered their eyes and stood guard around their grandmother's coffin.
Of course, there was a really poignant moment as well where they had the young, I think he was a Viscount, who was paying tribute, who looked very similar to Prince William at about the age of 17.
Wasn't it eerie? You know, we've had the anniversary of Diana's death only earlier this month, I think it was, 25 years, and we saw those pictures of William walking behind the coffin, and then James Viscount Servant sitting there, 14-year-old boy, the son of Edward and Sophie, and he just, he wanted to be there. He had the choice. He decided he wanted to be there and do that for his grandmother, the youngest of the Queen's grandchildren. And those pictures of Sophie standing up on the balcony watching, she was wiping away a tear at one point. And then when it was over, she sort of turned to someone and said, phew, that's over. So, really, really touching moment that was, watching that unfold.
And a huge event, to try and put it into perspective, larger than the 2012 Olympics, but also larger than the Platinum Jubilee weekend. Obviously, there'll be a high-profile police presence there as well. Are you getting a sense of that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They've been, so I'm sitting outside Buckingham Palace, but there's been a reception tonight for all of the heads of state. So King Charles has held that reception, 500 dignitaries. We're talking royalty from all over the world, kings, queens, emperors, prime ministers, presidents. Joe Biden's been here. He's got the beast here as well. That's gone up the Mall. Quite the scenes. All of these dignitaries in one place. It's unheard of to have that many people. They've all got their own sort of choppers looking over us as well. So
wow.
when they're driving around, they're flying around above to keep an eye on proceedings. 15,000 police officers in London itself. There's military as well, and then there's all those specialist police too. And you really can't go 2 steps without seeing a police officer in and around London at the moment. It is a huge security operation, the likes of which we haven't seen before. They're talking about 2 million people being in London for the Queen's funeral in a few hours' time, and a service that'll be watched by likely 4 billion people across the world.
Of course. I saw they did the 1 minute silence at 8 o'clock London time as well. I imagine that with all of this police presence, though, there's also this real feeling, almost a surreal feeling of quiet that's existing in London at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's changed as the week's gone on. So after the Queen died, people came together. There was shock and there was grief, and then it sort of moved on to people being together and really enjoying that time, and a bit jovial at times in the line and things like that. And now there's a real sense that this is the end. This is the final goodbye. So there's that real sort of happy sadness now, amongst the people. I was standing outside along the Mall for that minute silence. You could not hear a pin drop. The whole place went out, and there's a lot of people here. There are thousands of people here, including media as well, a massive media operation too. And then as soon as the minute was up, there was this slow applause that just broke out, and it just rippled up the Mall. And it was absolutely, amazing to be a part of. So I feel like it's a special time to be in London at the moment, and I think this is going to be the biggest thing that London has ever seen. And they've seen some big events, jubilees, weddings, all of that stuff. This is something that's extraordinary.
Bianca, I appreciate your time, and we'll check in with you again in about another hour. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phil.
That's Bianca Stone there from Channel 7 for all the royal coverage. Have a look at channel7.com.au. And I think they start their coverage about midday today as well. And we'll be broadcasting the Queen's funeral for you exclusively on WSFM from 8 o'clock tonight.